Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching the 2026 Blue Shoe State Meet podcast. Today, we are covering Class 1A, which happens on Thursday. It's going to be kind of a little bit of an icky day on Thursday. It's going to be in the 60s, probably going to have some rain. It's going to be a little bit windy, 10 miles per hour is what the weather suggests, but it's a great day for championship racing. Today, we are going to dive into the three distance events, the 1600, 800, and 3200. Class 1A has really seen a boost over the past couple of years, and there's a lot of top contenders over the state, especially like James Gurley and Lily Park being some of the best runners in the state in general. Now, with that said, we're going to go straight into the girls 1600. First off, Jake, I do have a question. Obviously, Lily Park and Kennedy Megamian are the two top seeds. What would have to happen for Kennedy to pull off this upset and beat Lily Park, as Lily Park is our 2026 Dream Mile champion?
Well, the only way it could be really, really close is that if it gets tactical and Lily Park waits to take the lead like a little too late. I don't really see that as a likely scenario, but when the bottom line is that it's going to be really difficult to take down the winner, the Kentucky Dream Mile, having ran the 4:53 for the full mile, 4:51, 1600. Obviously, Kenny Megamian is really talented, one of the top runners in the state, all classes considered. I just think it's going to be really difficult to take down Lily Park. But the scenario that would have to happen, it would probably have to be on the more tactical side. As if Lily takes it out, I really don't see a way that like anyone can like seriously contend. But yeah, we'll just have to see. At the Dream Mile, it was more of a tactical situation. She took the lead pretty late. But yeah, going straight into my picks, um, I'm looking here. The Class 1A state record is set by Lily Park. She set it last year, the 4:59.88. I have no reason to bet against her. She won the Kentucky Dream Mile. Is looking to be one of the top seeds. Had the Jogger Regional take the win. I think Lily Park is definitely going to win this one. Second, I think Kennedy Megamian's right there. Obviously, very talented runner, having also made the Dream Mile, placed pretty high, and was also very competitive in that race, being with Lily almost the entire race. I think she'll get second. And also for third, I think Annie Sewell from LCA will also be right up there. She's having a great season. She dropped a lot of time and across almost all of her events from 800 to 5K. So I definitely think she's ready to go for this one.
Right, yeah. Well, I definitely see this as Lily Park's race to lose. Obviously, she basically ran from the gun at Dream Mile and just took it the entire way. So I really don't think there's any way that she doesn't just do that here. I've seen her. Went and watched the race at Brother Borgia, and she went straight to the front as well. I think that's just kind of her race strategy, and obviously it's working right now. So I definitely think she's just going to go straight to the front and set it out at a pace that she knows she can close in. I think she'll take this one right around 5:01 just because of the kind of bad conditions. I think Kennedy is second and 5:02. I think it's just going to be really hard for her to outkick Lily Park, but it is possible. But I just think that it's going to be set up to Lily Park's favor as she's going to be pacing the entire race. Third, I have Peyton Reed because I just think that she's due for kind of a bounce back after the Dream Mile. Obviously, wasn't her best performance, but obviously it was a Dream Mile qualifier, and having three Dream Mile qualifiers in this race kind of plays for these three to have success in this race. But moving away from the girls 1600, going into the boys 1600, kind of just I'll go over a brief kind of top entries as we're going into this meet. The number one seed based off these are all going to be off region times is Chance Collins. Chance Collins was your region 6 champion. Tanner Daniels is the 2 seed with 4:30. Greenwell is also 4:30. James Gurley, your Kentucky Drew Mile runner up, definitely the top favorite in this heat, but obviously he ran 4:32 at his region just to get the win. So he is your 4 seed. 5 is Everett Snyder, 4:36. He was his Region 2 runner-up, right behind Grant Greenwell. Charlie Skeen, Owen Bray, and Thomas Matthews. Now, Jake, does anyone have a chance besides James Gurley? Obviously, James Gurley has just been dominant this entire season. Is there any chance that anyone can pull off this upset, or is it just if James Gurley just doesn't race, that's the only chance.
Yeah, no, he's kind of unfair in this race. You know, he's obviously Kentucky Dream Mile runner-up. Kind of looking at this list, I don't really see anyone that could seriously contend. Like the only scenario that he could possibly be taken down is if kind of the same dude in the girls' mile that goes really tactical and like Tanner Daniels somehow has the kick of his life. I don't. He's obviously, you know, you've seen on the reels, he's very locked in right now. He's put out a lot of great content. He's ready to get another state title. I have no reason not to bet against him. He's been running really well all season. I'm going to go James Gurley to win the race. Second, I kind of thought about this for a little bit. Obviously, you have Chance Collins, the 1 seed that you got DQ'd out of the 1A 1600 state championship. I also looked at guys like Bruce Hayden, who have been running really well all year. But second, when I think these 1A races boil down to is the kicking speed, and Tanner Daniels has that, having ran 157 in the 800. Hasn't really ran a whole ton this year. He might be coming back from injury or something, but I think he's in a position to run very fast. I'm going to pick Tanner Daniels to get second. And then third, it's kind of a toss-up. It can go a couple of different ways, but I think Grant Greenwell is ready for a big run as well.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go a little bit different direction. I agree with you on the top two. I think that Gurley is obviously going to have this race in the bag a little bit. Tanner Daniels, I have him at 2 just because of the experience. He's known to race against Gurley all throughout his high school career. I think he's going to be the best suited and prepared for this race. And 3, I'm going to go Easton Borland. Easton Borland was one of the first people out of the Dream Mile. He's a 155, 422 guy. If anyone's going to pull off the upset, it's going to be him. So watch out for him into this race. Now, moving away from the 1600, we are going to move towards the 800. And with that said, we are bringing on freshman from LCA, Hadley Raisor. Hadley is a phenomenal star throughout Kentucky and is showing up right now and showing the Kentucky scene on how good of a runner she is and kind of putting LCA and 1A on the map right now. Now, Hadley, I'll start off first just with a quick question. So, obviously, coming in as a freshman, speak to it how it has been for you. Like coming in, a lot of freshmen come in, like Taylor behind other people and Taylor behind the upperclassmen. You've kind of had to come in and be a big point scorer and kind of be one of those top dogs. Kind of speak to that and how it's kind of played on your mindset throughout the season. Oh, I think you're muted, Hadley.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I really enjoy racing with like the older girls who are way more experienced than me, because I feel like they can support me and push me to be better than I already am, and they're all really nice and supportive.
Yeah, and kind of bouncing off of that, LCA has been one of the top teams in Class 1A through cross country and track year after year. How do you all as a team make each other better as you are very successful?
We all encourage and push each other during track meets and even at practice, and we always pray before races together, and we just love to cheer each other on.
Right. That's awesome. So obviously on Thursday, you're obviously focusing on this 800. You won indoor state with a crazy performance, kind of blew everyone else out of the water. So on Thursday, obviously you have some more competition. You're racing your teammate Annie, and also I think Lily Park is entered. What are going to be the things that you tell yourself on the start line and throughout the day that kind of help you get yourself in the right mindset and ready to compete when that gun goes off?
Throughout the day, I just pray and just ask him to help me do my best to all my ability and to use all my glory to glorify him, all of his glory. And just I tell myself throughout the day, like on the line, just to leave it all out there and that I've trained hard for this and this is what I've been working towards.
Yeah, and also on that same note, you've obviously had a very successful season contributing to LCA's team title indoors and obviously winning the 800 state championship indoors. So for the outdoor championship this Thursday, what's kind of your idea of what success looks like for this meet specifically?
Yeah, I'd love to get some PRs and score big points in my relays and my individual event, and just get a bunch of points for my team so we can excel and do the best we can.
Thank you, Hadley. Obviously, we're wishing you best of luck on Thursday. So yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you for giving us your time, and good luck.
Thank you.
That was Hadley Raisor, obviously a great star for LCA's team as they come into this 1A state championships with one of the best distance teams 1A has ever seen. Now, Jake, going off of kind of based off what she said, we'll go into some of the entries. It's a little bit more stacked. I don't think Hadley's going to be able to run away from it like she did indoors, where she ran, I think, like 2:13 or 2:14 as a freshman, which is just crazy. Obviously, Hadley likes to get out fast. She was out in like 63 or 64 there. But you got some other competition, that being Lily Park. Lily Park is obviously the Dream Mile champion. And, so she's entered with a 2:19, but she definitely can go faster. I think her PR is 2:15. Two seed is Laura Callahan, 2:19 as well. She was just right behind Lily Park at Region 4. Hadley is the 3 seed. Annie Sewell, her teammate, is the 4 seed. She's had a really good season throughout the indoor and outdoor season. Nori Barker is your 5 seed. Margaret Dulany is the 6 seed. Maggie West is the 7 seed. And Sophia Westergen is your 8 seed. Now, Jake, what do you think this race is going to play out as? Do you think that Hadley, being the freshman, is going to go out there and take the lead from the gun? Or do you think she's going to kind of sit back and let Lily Park take this one? Kind of how do you think this race is going to play out, and whose favor do you see it going in?
Yeah, so this race, obviously the top girls in this race are in the 2:19 to 2:21 range from the performance list. I think this race is going to be very fast. I think it's going to be different than the mile. I mean, Hadley said it herself. She wants to come out and run PRs. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. This is going to have to be a very fast race. I would assume Lily Park knows she has great competition and knows she can't necessarily, kind of jog this one till the end. It's going to be, she's going to have a run for her money. Now, that being said, it's hard to predict who's going to be in the lead the first 400, but what I do think is that first 400 is going to be very fast. I think it's going to be anywhere from 64, like probably like 64 low to 65-ish, that range. I don't think it's going to go out slow. I think to win this race, you need to run your PR, the best race you've done. Like Hadley said, she's really trying to go for some fast times and score a lot of points for her team. Lily's ran 4:53 for the mile, 4:51 for the 16. 2:15 is obviously very fast. I think at that 400, at 450, 1600 level, you're definitely due to run a very fast time. So I think she also wants to run a very fast time, like probably like around the 2:10 to 2:12 range, something like that. I think she'll really go for it. And I think it's going to be tough to take her down. So I'm going to pick Lily Park to win this race. And right behind her, I think Hadley will be in second, probably also with like around that 2:12 to 2:13 range. And kind of on the same trend as the mile, I think Annie Sewell is also ready for a big day of PRs. She'll be right with them in third.
Right. I agree with like the names that you mentioned. I'm just going to go in a slightly different direction. I think that Hadley's going to win it. Just being there at 1A state indoors, if she is still in that shape that she was in, taking it out at 63 and 64 on some tired legs that Lee Park might have after, running the mile and probably, maybe being your mile champion and having to have that battle with Kennedy Megamian maybe an hour prior. I think that's going to be really hard for her to hold on to Hadley if Hadley decides to take it. But the way it can get scary for Hadley is if she kind of plays back, in my opinion, and lets Lily kind of dictate the race, because that's what Lily Park's like best thing is she can go and dictate the race and make sure that the pace is set up for her to win. So I kind of have faith that Hadley's going to go out to the front and make it a 63-64 first 400, and I think that she'll be able to hold on just because she's been running more 800s and experienced, going out that hard. So I have her winning in probably around 2:13, 2:14 range. Second, I have Lily Park. I think it's going to be very close coming down the home stretch. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of changes in lead on the home stretch, just with them being very close together. And 3, I agree with you, Jake. Annie Sewell, it's going to be a little bit of a bigger gap between the top 2 and Annie, but still, I do think that she'll run right around the 218, 217 range. Now moving towards the boys 800. Obviously, you're having James Gurley double back based off of the injuries. I'm sure he's going to just try and go for all 3 events here. But number 1 seed based off region times is Tanner Daniels. Obviously, like Jake mentioned, I think he was injured throughout the indoor season. He's been injured for a while. He went 159 at region 6 to win that region. Easton Borland there's 2 seed. He is someone to watch out for if James Gurley's not on his A game. Number 3 seed is Adam Tarvin. 4 is Gurley. 5 is Aiden Meredith. 6 is Charlie Skeen. 7 is Emmett Messavere. And 8 is Ian Babin. So, Jake, obviously, when was the last time Gurley ran an all-out 800? I don't know if has that ever happened? Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened or not. Do you think that obviously he's off the double? Do you think that maybe that inexperience could hurt him here? Obviously, he's probably the most talented. Yeah, okay, he is the most talented runner in this field, committed to Dartmouth as well. Like, do you think that inexperience might cost him a little bit because he's probably going to win the 1600 a couple hours before? Do you think that there might be a chance for Easton Borland to slide in there just because of the 800 experience, or do you think that James Gurley is just too good for someone to pull off this upset?
Well, it's hard to say because obviously it's hard to, James has never ran, well, to my knowledge, has never gone all in on an 800. He's mostly a mile to 3,200 guy, obviously dominating those events. But I think even looking down the list, you have Bruce Hayden with that 206. If you think back to the indoor state where him and Kyle Stickle were having to go at it, it was a very tactical race, and they closed in 25 or 26. So both of those people have that kind of racing experience that he wouldn't. But with that being said, though, I think this race is going to play out very similar to the girls' race. Personally, I think this is the matchup of the day. This is by far the most I think this will be the most exciting one to watch, especially because of how talented James is. But it's not impossible for him to be overtaken by some of those other top guys. Now, that being said, I think James has never gone all in on 800. I think today's the day. I think he'll win this one in probably around 154, 155. But right there with Easton Borland from Dawson Springs. That guy's legit. Obviously, like you said, missed out on the Dream Mile by a couple spots. And you also have to look out for guys like Bruce Hayden from Paris. So how I would see it playing out is I think Bruce Hayden will take it out very fast. I think he was pretty upset after. Well, I'm sure he was satisfied with his performance, but I know he really wanted that win badly. I think we can see him up front early on in the race, trying to race aggressively, run a fast time. But I think it'll be. I think James is super due for. I think he's due for a big mile, but I especially think he's due for an 800 since he's never ran. So I'm going to go James Gurley to win this race. I think Easton Borland also has a very fast kick, so I think on that final 100 or to 150 meters, he'll kind of barely outlean Bruce Hayden, and I think Bruce Hayden will be third. That's just kind of how I see it playing out. But really, any of that three of Easton Borland, James Gurley, Bruce Hayden, I can see any order of that top three occurring. I think it's a possibility. And another thing I want to mention, the Class 1A state record for the 800 at the state meet is from 1981. It's 1:54:47. Do you think that time is going down?
Yes, for sure. I think that kind of just going into my race prediction, obviously you have taking out Gurley. You have Easton Borland, 155, Bruce Hayden, 154, Kyle Stickle, 155. And Tanner Daniels also under 2. You have several guys that are so fast. I think that if none of them take the lead, I will be shocked. There's too many guys to let it go tactical. James Gurley's closed miles in 158 and sub 2 several times. If they let this race go tactical, there's no chance. I don't think it will. and I think that it's going to go fast. And I think that Easton Borland's going to stomp on that lead. I think that we've seen that Bruce Hayden and Kyle Stickle have gone, have shown that they are willing to race really tactically. I don't think that race plan is going to have to go, and I don't think that's going to be successful. I think you're going to have to run fast at 1A on Thursday. I think that Borland's going to take it out 55, 56, and Gurley's going to be like, go ahead and take it out. And I think you're going to see a really fast lap from Gurley. I think he'll run right around what Roman ran, like 153, 152. And I think that he will get under the state record. I think he will win this one. I think Bruce Hayden probably has one of the better kicks in the field. Obviously, he lost to Kyle Stickle indoors, but I think he's just when it's that fast, I think he's going to be able to outbeat Borland and Stickle and Daniels. So I have Bruce Hayden getting second, probably around the 155, 154 range, because I have no knowledge of this. I just don't really think he's going to run the mile. I think he's more of an 800 guy. I'd be shocked. I think he dropped it. I think he and Stickle and everyone dropped it indoors. So I would assume he's probably going to do the same, just because the 800's been his main event throughout the years and throughout this year. Third, I have Easton Borland, obviously really talented, one of the first people out of the Drew Mile. I just think that he's going to be a little bit tired after the mile, because I think he's going to run the mile. So that's where I give the nod to Bruce Hayden, because I think he's going to be a little bit fresher. But yes, I think that we'll have a lot of guys sub 2, which is great for 1A, because it's emerging right now. Now, going into the 3200, the last event that we are going to cover today. Starting off with the girls 3200. Top seed Kennedy Magamian of LCA. Seed Molly Chambers, 1123. She was the Region 5 runner-up behind Kennedy Magamian. 3 is June Carls. She was third at that meet. She is the LCA runner that, it's one of kind of their big 4. 4 is Ainsley Suter. 5, Kylie Oxner. 6, Jasmine Kozmaniak. 7, Elizabeth Matthews, and 8, Parker Hodges. Now, Jake, is Lily Park entered in this? I don't know. No. Okay, so obviously this is Kennedy's race to lose. We saw her and June Carls go 1-2 indoors at Class 1A state. I mean, what do you think kind of her race strategy is? Do you think that anyone can contest her? Obviously, she's probably just going to run solo and try and run 1050, if so. But do you think anyone else is possible of running as fast as her and sticking with her?
I think Molly Chambers from Sayre would be someone to look out for that scenario happening. I think she might. I think there's a chance she could drop the mile and go for 3200. I think that would make the most sense to have a chance to contend. So I think, like you said, I think Kennedy will try and go for a fast time. That's just how I see it playing out. And Molly Chambers from Sayre will try to go with her. They'll definitely, I think they'll be under 11. But that's how I kind of see it playing out. It's just going to be those two kind of going after a fast time. And then I think there'll be like a mini gap, and then it'll be June Carls from LCA right up with there. And then there's a big drop off. There's obviously that pack, Ainsley Sutter, Callie Ochner, Jasmine Kosmanchuk, and Elizabeth Matthews. I think all of them will be in another separate pack of their own. But yeah, for that top 3, I think it'll be very hard to take down Kenny Magamian. So she's also won this race. I don't know how many times. It actually she may have won it 2 or 3 times outdoors already, but I don't know for sure. So I'm going to pick Kenny Magamian. She obviously has a lot of experience at the state level, and I think Molly Chambers will run very fast, kind of right up there with her, and then June Carls in third. I think it's pretty straightforward 3, just off of looking at the performance list.
Right. I definitely have Kennedy winning it. I think she's just going to be able to run 1050 to 11 flat, even on tired legs. I think that, it's just going to be her race to lose. And I definitely think she's going to be able to win. Second place, I'm going in a little bit of a different pick than you. I'm going to go June Carls, her teammate. I think that Molly is going to run the 1600. I think that kind of fast pace by Park and Kennedy is going to be a little bit hard for her to hold on to. And she might, have a little bit of more tired legs coming into this 3,200. And if she tries and goes with Kennedy, like you predicted, and I agree with that, she might, that's where June Carlos can catch her because June knows not to, go out and try and race Kennedy. She's going to sit back, run her own pace. And I think that she will get her, kind of maybe that last 800, 600 range just because she's running smart. I think it's probably her first event of the day. So, yeah, I think that June will get second. Molly Chambers will get third. Now, going into the last event that we are going to cover for 1A, it is the boys 3,200. Of course, James Gurley is back for his third event of the day. He's your top seed with a 949 at his region. Number 2 was the runner-up at James Gurley's region, Thomas Matthews. 3 seed is Arlo Harvey. 4, Alex Chadwick. 5, William Osborne. 6, Henry Kramer. 7, Chance Collins. 8, Robert Black. Now, Jake, obviously, do you think that, obviously Gurley is in contention for all three events here. Do you think that, some of these races beforehand, if they go faster, especially the 800 being right before, like say it goes out really hard, do you think that could affect him going into this 3,200 and might cause, a little bit of shakiness for him?
Well, he's obviously going to be pretty tired. Obviously, we both think he's going to go very fast in the 800, so it's going to be very tiring for him to run this, regardless of the time. I don't think he's going to go for it because of the 800. I think he'll kind of just want to like chill back and just get the win, have some fun. That's kind of how I see it playing out with James. Now, not mentioned on the performance list because he didn't really have to run very fast to win his region is Grant Greenwell. He's the 9 seed in this race, 10:36, but he's obviously ran much faster than that. I know I mentioned him at third for the 1,600. I think there's a chance he drops it. I low-key forgot about Easton Borland in the 1,600, but I think there's a very high chance that Grant goes all in on the 3,200. It's kind of his event. He favors the longer distance events, so I think you could definitely see Grant leading a large portion of this race because I don't think James is going to want to take it. You could also potentially see guys like Thomas Matthews try and go for the lead. That just want to run a fast time. So yeah, I don't think James will run like. I think he's going to win regardless, but I don't think he's going to have to run super fast to do it. But he's definitely going to take over that final, probably 600. He'll have some emotes ready, some sellies, because that's kind of what he does. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't really see this going any faster than the mid 930s. I think that's at the absolute tops. I think James Gurley will win this, and I think Grant Greenwell will get second. He's a guy to look out for. Very talented 3,200 runner, ran well this season. And then third, I think it's kind of a toss-up, but I think Thomas Matthews from Walden, having ran with James a bunch, he's going to kind of know he has that experience running against him, and he'll place very highly. Thomas has also ran very fast in the 3,200 this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this race is going to be pretty slow. I don't think Gurley will take over until about 200 to go. And coming down that home stretch, he is going to have a ton of celebrations. He's got to be careful not to get himself disqualified because if this is
that's
his
a
third
possibility. I don't think they'll do it to him, but if he goes extreme, you never know.
If he gets his third win of the day, I'm expecting some big stuff from him. He definitely was pretty excited and, came up to me after he won the 3,200 indoors at state. So expecting some big stuff from him. I definitely do think that he's just going to close really hard the last 200. I think that second will be Grant Greenwell. I think this will kind of be the rabbit. I do agree that he will drop out of the 1,600 and kind of focus 3,200. I think that's what he should do at least. But
I agree.
I don't know. We'll see what he does. I think he'll get second, probably running right around like just sub 10, and then 3 will be Chance Collins. I think that Gurley will run like 9:51, closing in like a 62 or something. Something really fast. Yeah, I don't think that this race goes anyway. But Gurley, I think Gurley wins all 3 events at 1A on Thursday. And yeah, I'm expecting some big stuff, big celebrations from him if he does pull off this 3-peat. But without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, we wish everyone good luck that's going to be at the meet. we'll be there getting coverage. And thank you guys for watching.